they misrepresented what I was doing. I just wanted to get these people on video just talking about what it was they were doing. I knew I had no idea what was going on. All I knew is that they felt health care was a human right, not just for the rich and white.
Right.
That's all I knew when I got out of my car.
Which, if you don't mind, I don't mean to interrupt here, but think about that statement alone. Health care is a human right, not just for the rich and white. So are poor white people getting free health care that rich black people aren't? I mean, I don't understand how we can put those two together about the races if we're talking about a single race, which is the human race. Then why do we have to split it? Why do we have to divide it? If it's a human right, why isn't it just a human right?
Well,
and are they going so far to say that rich white people are more entitled to health care or less entitled to health care? Let's think about their argument for a moment.
Well, what they're doing, John, is they're lumping everybody, every white person into the 1%. Now, and I'll cover that here in a little bit.
Oh, well, that's fair. Okay, now go ahead.
Well, but here's why. That is, what that does is it does exactly what just happened to you. Exactly what just happened to you.
Absolutely.
It fires you up. And that is a tactic.
Well, I'm not fired up about it. I'm asking
I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you who Saul-Alinsky is. So,
oh, my guy. I love him, man. I've got all his books.
Yeah. You want to be the first radical, don't you, John? So,
hey.
But that's the thing.
Better than God's all I can say.
Well, you know.
Not me. I'm saying that's what Saul-Alinsky said.
Well,
but anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, that's the whole, what you're referring to, the book, is Rules for Radicals, his last book, and he did perish not long after. I would like to point that out. Well, no, actually, he ascended, but anyway, go ahead. It depends on which hemisphere you're standing on, I guess.
Well, if he went down over here, he went up over there.
Anyway, man, it's an Alinskyite tactic is what they were doing, and it was working. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt again. Okay.
Do you mean that they were spouting socialistic ideals?
Well, it was radical. They were trying to spout socialistic ideas, but the thing is if we're going to eliminate classes, then we've also eliminated the need to quarrel among races, and they clearly aren't past that. So,
well, because that's their only device.
Okay, and since you threw that out there, I mean, it's a rabbit hole, and we'll probably talk here for a little bit. So, back and forth. I want you to get out what you feel, because you got a little fired up after I talked to you initially. But that's what it's designed to do. They were out there trying to rile people, and it was working. When the news, actually, like I said, there was more than just the 10 seconds clip they had of me on the news labeled as a participant, talking about how much I admired, them practicing their freedom of speech. So, yeah, God bless America. Thank God that we have the right to go out and do. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I hit puberty this weekend, and it's. Oh my God, I was waiting for that. Excuse me, but it's. There's way more to it. In the interview that they were doing with me, at one point this guy rolls past, and at a high rate of speed, John. I mean, I don't know how he got out as many words as he did. But one was the F-bomb, one was the N-word, and he came across like he was Ricky Bobby, just trucking. And so, that's what it was designed to do. It takes that evil and it forces it into those cracks in our humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And it infects us.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, so that was an Alinskyite tactic. And that occurring told me, and like I said, it didn't pass the smell test to begin with because of its location.
Right.
If those people wanted to make an impact, they would have been where but obviously the cameras were there, which is another story, I think. But
well, that brings me back to my initial question. How come there was only one news organization there? Or was there more? From what the video that I seen that you had taken, I only seen 59. I didn't see anyone else.
It was CBS and Fox. But they're a joint affiliate. They're affiliated through.
Absolutely, yes. It's a Fox affiliate, but it's a CBS station. It started as the CBS. Yes.
And I know people that work there, dude. I'm not knocking the organization, but what I'm saying is that. Nor
am I, actually, to be honest with you. Of the local stations, that's the one that I prefer to watch the most.
Well,
just due to the fact of their coverage.
Well,
I'm not necessarily saying their ideology, but their coverage.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking any of those people, but I'm asking, where was WVAH out of Huntington? Where was WCHS out of Charleston? Where was WOAY out of Oak Hill, West Virginia? Right there at the summit. Why weren't these organizations picking up on this quote rally?
Well,
where were they?
That is another valid point, and one more odor to add to the smell test there. But I mean, yeah, that's a good point. But again, what I was
Neo Crusader was there just because he happened to be driving by and wanted to know why.
Well, that's usually how I end up there. So that's usually how I find this stuff, John. And
right.
I do not try.
But I'm just saying, and not to knock Neo Crusader, but really, I mean, we have one legitimate news organization and another burgeoning that just happened to be driving by. Where were the other ones? I mean, the President of the United States was in the state of West Virginia. If that doesn't call for Charleston, the capital of the state of West Virginia, if that doesn't call for their news organization to have a presence, what does?
Well,
unless you go into the deeper side of it and saying that they don't support our president,
here's
and
the thing.
We can go down that rabbit hole for days.
No, we're not going to, because here's the thing.
You called this fake news, so here you go.
No, I called the last one fake news, and it was because it was incorrect and I was misquoted and everything else. But and it wasn't.
Oh yeah, this is the Socialist Phantom Menace. Okay.
The Phantom Socialist Menace.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misquoted.
Now, quit trying
I
to be
retract
Disney.
that.
I'm George Lucas here. You quit being Disney, okay? Stop it.
There you go with that.
So.
All right, Dan.
But you're right now where you're at, John. To use a Star Wars analogy, you are still at the blockade, my friend, of Naboo. You are still at the blockade. There's way more to it, okay? It goes all the way up until the duel scene. This story, I'm telling you, at the end of it, there is a duel scene.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I believe that,
so
and I truly do. And I believe that you're on to the right track. To say to your credit, I listened to your podcast and I listened to you. You named this person Alexis, I think maybe.
Alexander Gallo.
Okay, Alexander Gallo, and you recited, as far as I know, correctly, without doing my own proper research.
Took what was on the internet. I took what was public domain and put it out there for people to draw their own conclusions.
You do that, though. You took that extra step rather than just to say, this woman said this, and this is why I think she's wrong.
But
you gave a background for your listeners to understand a little further more about her.
Listen. She is not the Sith Lord. Okay, it's
not the one we're looking for.
Well, touche. So, yeah.
Hey,
so
my apprentice, the living force. You need to learn to follow it.
Well, here's the thing. So let's move past that.
Sure.
And let's actually look a little deeper. So.
Okay, let's go. I'm ready. I got my mouthpiece in, man.
In addition to healthcare, and just listen to me now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In addition to healthcare being an issue, now healthcare is a human right, not just for the rich and white, unless you're a baby. Because if you're a baby, then you do not have the human right to healthcare, because they want to kill you, okay? Because this is the group, Healthcare for America Now. They were the muscle, basically. They were the movement that helped ramrod this in the early days of the administration. They were the partially part of the innovators for this whole movement. Now, also in addition to Healthcare for America Now, which was being represented and was also on the West Virginia Citizens Action Group on their webpage, and I haven't been back since, but on the webpage there was the exact sign that she was trying to pass off to me. And so somebody spent money for that. You know,
well, sure.
So it when you look at that, and Miss Gallo, again, she can wear whatever she wants to. It is a free country, but she's advocating on her shirt abortion while she's holding up a sign for human rights.
Huh. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me process that just for a moment. Let me take in everything that you just said.
I have tried to process that.
And here is what I come up with. Just on those prefacia statements, I am looking at probably a person who has a disorder of some type, to where they are actually able to compartmentalize their mind so much that they can believe both things at the exact same time. And if I remember correctly, there was a man, an old guy, a long time ago, wrote a book, and he spoke about that very same thing. It was called doublethink. Am I close with that, or am I off the mark?
Well, it's confusion. It is Babylon, John. That's also,
Well, I know who the author of confusion is. I know his name.
Well, and the guy who is the granddaddy of, political organization, this radical, the Saul-Alinsky, the mentor to Hillary Clinton,
Do you not think that that's funny that we just keep coming back to the same thing?
Well, but there's more. Now.
Oh, of course there's more, but it's always going to come back to the same thing.
And to put it into a term, where people can relate, what Saul-Alinsky is, or what Saul-Alinsky worships, would be the dark side of the force, that Lucifer, Satan.
Yes, that was the name that kept popping into my mind, but yes.
So, okay, and so, Alinsky was this Sith Lord back in the old Republic, and so he trains up all these Chicago-style, quote unquote Chicago, because that's where a lot of these, this movement took off. But
Well, there's a lot of graft and corruption in Chicago too. It's known history of the city. It's not secret.
Yeah, I understand. But under Rules for Radicals, there's the divide and conquer strategy. And